Hello everyone, welcome to www.MyOnlineEdu.com's video tutorial. In this video tutorial, we'll see the basics of programming language. So before coming into the details of C programming, we'll see the basics of a particular programming language in general, how a program works. Okay, so as you know that a computer has many hardware parts which helps to execute a particular program. Among them is the CPU, which is the central processing unit of the computer, which performs the operations, which do the arithmetics and lots of many stuff. Basically, that is the that is the basically the nerve system of the computer. Okay, so before going into the details, let me explain few things. That, as you know from our earlier video, that excuse me, a computer understands only 0 and 1, which is in the form of binary. So basically CPU, which whenever it performs an operation, it performs the operation based on an instruction, right? The way that we do, if somebody instruct us to do something, then only we do something, correct? Like if somebody asks us to, okay, come in and chat with me, okay, so then we open our chat application and do the chatting with him, correct? If somebody calls us, we pick it up the phone, correct? So these are the activity that we do based on some instructions, somebody or indirectly or directly telling us that do something. Similarly, computer, a particular CPU, it does something whenever it is being instructed to do something. And how those instructions are placed, those are placed through programming languages. Now there are different types of programming languages. Okay, the many the first one is the machine language. Okay, and then the assembly language, and then the high level language. Okay, so as you can see here, okay, so as you know that machine language is the only understandable format of the language which computer understands. So this is nothing but your pure binary in the form of 0 1 0 1, in the form of binary. We write the instructions like this. Okay, now assembly language is the middle level language we see between the machine language and the high level language. And then high level languages are come into picture, which are basically in that we human beings understand more easily. So that is why it is called high level language. Okay, so for example, like you write a program in Java, C++, C or PHP, so these are called the high level language which we understand. Okay, so you can say C, C++, Java, PHP, and many things. Many programming languages are there. Hundreds of programming languages are there, which represents the high level language. Now, as you can understand, the thing is that that a machine language is only understood by the computer. So this is the language which is only understood by the computer, and normally we human beings write program in high level language. Many programmers prefer assembly language, but we are not going into the details of assembly language in this particular basic video tutorial. Okay, we'll do it later on, but not now. So high level language are the programming languages that we understand, that human beings. Okay, so let's say we are the human beings over here. We are the human. We are writing a program, and this is a particular computer which translates the data. which does the operation. But it understand only machine level language, and we write our program in the high level language. So as you can imagine that there is a disconnect between these two, right? We are writing the programs into high level language, we human beings, and then computer only understands machine language. It doesn't understand what a high level language is. It only understands machine language. So there is a gap that you can understand, right? So how come these things are possible, that whenever I am writing a program, the computer is executing that program, and what I am trying to asking it to do, so it is doing so. For example, if I write like sum is equal to x plus y, what does it mean to how computer is getting the information that okay, whatever the value in x, I am going to add that with y, and the result I am going to put into sum. How does computer understand that? So that is the place where the compilers come into picture. So basically compilers. Okay, so the compilers comes into picture over here. It is same as like when we understand a language and we are speaking with a particular person who understands a different language. For example, let's say in India, there are many languages are there. All over the world, there are many hundreds and thousands of languages are there. So when two human beings are speaking with each other, for example, let's say that I am speaking in Hindi, which is the language of most people in India speaks in Hindi, and we have another person, who is from France, who understand only French. Okay, so how can these two people communicate? How is it possible? Because he will speak in Hindi, this guy will speak in Hindi, and this guy will never understand that, and this guy will speak in French, this guy will never understand that. So that is why we need a interpreter, right? So we need a middleman over here who is an interpreter, correct? He acts as so this is the interpreter guy. So whenever you speak something in Hindi, you speak to him and he translates it into French. Similarly, when this guy speaks with him in French, he get it and then he put it back to you in a form of Hindi. So the same thing is happened in computer. So basically this interpreter, this middleman, is this guy which is called compiler, or some programming languages uses interpreters also as compiler instead of compilers. So we'll talk about the compilers here a little bit. So whenever you write a program, you give it to a compiler. Basically compiler is nothing but another program. Okay, so that is being written by that particular programming language developers. So for example, C has a compiler. So many companies like Borland, TurboC, they have provided the compiler software. So once you write that high level language, you put it over here into the compiler, and then the compiler translate this into your machine language. Okay, and this machine language is only understood by the computer. So here is the implications, here is the necessity of the compiler. If you or me as a human being can write programs in this machine language, then there is no need of compiler, but which is not possible. We cannot write thousands of lines of code in machine language which only in 01010. It will take us many days, years, maybe years to write a particular program. So that is why the compilers come into picture, which is very handy, which is given by some companies, and we only write the programs in high level languages, and then it is being transformed into a machine level language. So that is how the things goes on inside a computer programming language. Okay, so we'll go through, we have gone through this. So basically the compilers and interpreters, which are does mostly the similar things without some basic difference they have, but normally the things works like this. So we have a high level language over here, and then we have a compiler in between, which translates into the machine level language, which is nothing but pure binary, which is zeros and ones. So once you as I said, there is a many programming languages category. So even the high level languages are categorized into basically three programming languages, which is procedural languages, which is C, our object oriented programming, which is conceptualized in a different way, like C++, Java, PHP are the object oriented programming, and then the scripting programming like JavaScript, JS, PHP, which is used mostly in the web development. So that's it. Thank you for watching this video tutorial. Have a good day.